We are moving back to the UK. We actually had been thinking about doing this for several years. Cece wasn't quite old enough. Last year, or perhaps the year before, we had discussed doing a kind of year out, doing some traveling in Europe, obviously taking Cece with us and homeschooling her. And when we talked to her about it then, when she was about 8, I think, she was not into it. She was quite clear that she didn't want to leave Asheville. She loved it here. She didn't want to leave her friends. And we weren't ready for it either. And then on November 9th, make a note of the date and what had happened a couple of days before, because that was kind of the catalyst. I came into the bedroom, Chad was getting up, and I had been thinking to myself while I was having coffee, that idea of going back to Britain is appealing right now. And then I went in to see Chad, and he said, I've been thinking we should move back to the UK. And I said, that's weird, because I was literally just thinking about the same thing. And that was the decision. We're going to let Cece finish out her school year, and then we're going to move. This is a good idea for us because it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of moving parts to get ready. We're going to rent our house. We're not going to sell it because we don't want to completely cut our ties with the United States and with Asheville. We've got so many really, really close, good friends here, and we've had a really happy 14 years in the neighborhood and in our community. One of the many reasons for doing it was to be closer to my family so that Cece could also get to know her family in the UK. Cece's an only child, and she's got a couple of cousins here that she's very close to. But my family is quite large and extended back in the UK, and it would be nice for her to hang out with them and get to know them. Chad, I think, is really eager to travel. So we're going to try and do a lot of traveling, both in the UK and outside of the UK, around Europe. We're just ready to do something new. I never thought I would do this. We thought about it for years, and it seemed to me impossible. I just couldn't figure out how could we have a life in Asheville and then just leave it, although I do miss the UK and I do miss my family. And there are things about the UK that I really value. And I wanted Cece to be able to have some kind of connection with the UK, because that's also kind of partly her culture too. When we were in Durham, just after the hurricane, we were living in somebody else's house and learning to navigate a new place. I sort of started to think about how much easier it was than I expected it to be somewhere else. I have become quite a homebody in the last 14 years. I don't really feel a desire to travel a lot. I love my home, and I love being cozy, and I was very content with that. But I also wanted to blow some fresh air into my life a little bit while I still can. I am in my mid to late 40s, I guess we could call it now. Cece's a little bit older, and we wanted to give her this opportunity to have a kind of education that isn't just a school education, but also one about cultures and different places. And I think it's going to be great. I will be obviously posting stuff about our progress in getting ready to move and how that's going. I'm sure there will be lots of different things that we'll have to deal with. But also it's going to be exciting for me to go back to the UK and kind of see it with new eyes after living away for so long. There are so many places in the UK I haven't even visited, and I can't wait to go and sort of see those places. I also want to see how the UK might have changed. We have had some time to get used to it because we made this decision, as I said, back in November now. Now it's early January, so it's been a couple of months. I can't pretend that it hasn't been a period of grief, but I am also excited. The snow came. It's early on a Sunday morning and I have come out to have a look around. I'm on my own. Cece went to a sleepover last night, so she's not with me, and Chad went away for the weekend, so I'm all by myself in the house. So I'm going to go back in a bit, finish drinking my coffee, which I started, and then realised that the light was really incredible and I should come out and try and film. And then I'll do some tidying up in the spare room again, and you know, vacuum and things, do all that stuff so that when they come home the house is nice and tidy and they can make it a mess again. So, but it really is spectacular out here. I've seen a lot of snow days in this neighbourhood over the 14 years we've lived here. Some without kids, some with CC, and they're always really special.